Well, here's the end of the trip.
Yeah, another off day. Ugly portaging, twisted my ankle a little bit, but enjoying, relaxing, having a fire, eating a couple of hot dogs, libation. The trip was an excellent trip. Don't regret a minute of it, although it was tough work. The portages, the first part of the trip, the Six Portages, were all burnt out. We were driving in just after a forest fire. First night we spent, or the second night I guess, we spent with a bunch of firefighters. And once we got into the Churchill River system, everything was good. We shot several rapids, kind of got a little handle on most of them, and feeling good about that. The scenery, the weather, everything was absolutely amazing.
Now we had that canoe cart. I don't know, jury's still out on that. I kind of think that if we did the trip without it, it might have actually been a little easier.
It's possible.
So
yeah.
It really didn't speed a lot of portages up, but there were I think 3 or 4 of them that it cut the time in half. So
yeah.
So there was that. Have to kind of remember this trip, that the first 6 portages, which is what the trip is named for, are ugly, ugly portages. Going from swamp to swamp, so you're not really ever getting, you're never getting nice rocky portages. Your feet are constantly wet, and you can't even dry anything out until you're done the last one. After that, you're into Trout Lake, and it's a completely different landscape, rocky. Good campsites kind of everywhere.
First couple of portages are quite a bit shorter and easy to take. The last couple of portages that we did today were longer. One was about 3/4 of a kilometer and the other one's about half a kilometer, 600 meters.
Yeah.
And rocky, uphill, roots, rocks, and so the canoe cart was really a detriment in these last two.
Yeah.
So.
But we kind of accomplished everything we wanted to this go around. We tried some theories out about which camp spots we should hit. Unfortunately, some of those were burnt out and we had to go to plan B. But we tried the theory out of the canoe cart and that seemed to work. Like I said, jury's still out on that one. I gotta say though, we did any meals we did from our prefab meals that we made, like with our dehydrators, worked out excellent. Right down to the desserts that we came along, I think it was all very good eating on this trip. I didn't find for myself anyways that my energy level had dropped the way it had last time. Last time the energy level about halfway through, I couldn't imagine another day of going through this, and this time I'm pretty good right to the end, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
And that's kind of with me as well. The second portage, you're walking in water up to your knees most of the way, and that kind of stuff. But aside from the wet feet, which you gotta kind of think, we gotta get your feet wet. And so other than that, the paddling was good. The rapid running was good. I think we developed a technique a little bit for running rapids, and so it was a great trip. I don't regret 1 minute of it, although it would have been nice without the portages, but other than that,
Well, like that one guy said, we ran into one guy that said they flew into Trout Lake and took the rest of it back, and I could certainly see that being a much nicer trip.
Yeah.
You know, because the end of the day, you're to your camp spot, middle of the day, time for fishing, swimming, whatever you want to do, and making a decent supper versus dragging your ass in at 7 and 8 in the evening, and then just having to subsist on whatever you could come up with.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all in all, I think it was a good trip. Couldn't complain about the weather. I think we had at most a wind of 10 kilometers an hour at any time during the trip. The only thing I'd say about the wind is that mostly it was against us, which was kind of a downer, but the good news is it was at most 10 kilometers an hour. So when it was with us, we were paddling somewhere around 7 kilometers an hour. When it was against us, we were paddling somewhere around 5 kilometers an hour. So we didn't make quite as good time as we did last time, because last time we had the wind with us quite a bit more. So
in dead water, no wind, no other conditions involved, a sustainable speed is about 6 kilometers an hour that we were working on.
yeah,
Reasonably well, you know. So you just get into the rhythm of, and we could maintain pretty much 6 kilometers an hour as a sustainable speed. So I think that did pretty good. I think that improved over the last time we were here. Those bigger paddles just definitely worked much better.
what did you think of that canoe?
Canoe was okay. You
Took a
know,
little-
I don't know if it had any advantages or disadvantages over the aluminum canoes from the Scouts, but you know, it worked okay, you know. It maybe bumped over rocks a little better than those.
Yeah. Yeah. Felt a little bit more comfortable running rapids.
Yeah.
So.
And it had a more comfortable seat on it as well.
So all in all, I think this was a good trip. We accomplished what we set out to, and I said this last time, I don't think I'll be doing this trip again. This time it's recorded, so I know some loved ones who will probably point this out to me if I ever decide to do this again, but I think it's time for maybe some other shorter canoe trips. This was a long one. I don't know, was it 6 days on the water?
5.
5 days on the water it's still a long time on the water. You know, you get into a routine and you get past the aches and pains of you know, the first day, but it's still, in the end, it's still a long time to be paddling, I guess. So anyways, with that, I guess this is in theory the end of our trip. Tomorrow
Tomorrow is home.
and
Glad to do that.
yeah, happy to see my wife, happy to get sleep in my own bed. I'll be giving her a call tonight sometime. And
Happy
anyways,
today for a shower and a regular bathroom.
that's right.
No more squatting in the bush, man.
Although I gotta say, I've been getting pretty good at it. Maybe that's not a good thing to say, but it's becoming more and more easy. Anyways, I guess that's that, and I'll spare you the details.